everyone, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing my plans for the Magical Readathon as well as my April TBR. So if you don't know what the Magical Readathon is, it's a readathon hosted by Book Roast. It's really in-depth, it's very D&D style. You make like a character, you go through these quests. It's very fun and it's a joy to do twice a year, so highly recommend checking out their channel. I will leave a link in my comment section doobly-doo thing. But yes, once again, I will be participating in it with my original character. I've thought about switching it up, but it's easy to just stick with the person that I've worked with for the past 3 years. I think it's been 3 years, maybe more. That's kind of crazy. And basically for the spring semester, I have to read 3 books this month, all fitting different prompts that my character is taking classes for. So my character is Mira. She is a magical blacksmith. That's kind of her vibe. And so she is also a crafts mage. And so I have to take 3 classes for the spring equinox. And so I have 3 challenges to complete outside of like quests and different other stuff like that. So 2 of my prompts for this year are going to be a little bit more freeform. So there's really only 1 prompt that is like a very distinct prompt, like finish a book with blah 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 kind of a thing. So that is for artificery. So for that class, I have to read a book with a lock or a key on it. And I really only have 1 choice in my TBR for this, but this is perfect because I've been meaning to get to it. So this is the perfect excuse to read it. So I'm going to be reading Beyond the Black Door. The cover is a keyhole shape. There's the word door, and there's also a key on the back. So lock, door, keyhole, it fits everything that I need it to. Basically, all I know about this is that people always have it as a book with ace representation. That's originally why I bought it. I don't really know much more than that. I think it's fantasy, possibly Portal World fantasy, not quite sure, but it is a young adult fantasy book, kind of like a standard for one of the early books with ace representation in it. So I've been meaning to read it, and this is the perfect excuse to get to it. So like I said, for my other 2 prompts, it's not as cut and dry. So for my spells and incantation class, I have to do a number generator for the number of words in the title of the book that I'm picking. So let me get out my handy dandy laptop and we'll figure out what book I have to read. So I have books with 1 word in the title up to, I think the most I have is 5. So I'm gonna do a number generator between 1 and 5. Okay, so I got the number 2, as you can see. So for 2 words in the title, I kind of have 3 different choices. I could do Kami-sama Kiss, could do California Foraging, or I could do Artificial Condition. And I'm gonna pick Artificial Condition for my 2nd book because my library audiobook just came in, so I'm gonna read that during work, which is perfect. So Artificial Condition is the 2nd book in the Murderbot Diaries series. I read the 1st book last month, really enjoyed it, so picked up the 2nd one. This is a novella sci-fi series following Murderbot, who is this, I think he's part like biohuman but like part robot basically. In the 1st book, they have become sentient. Well, they were always sentient, but they have become in control of their own abilities basically, and it's them trying to like do their job but also hide the fact that they, you know, are not actually being controlled by anything. And I really like the 1st book. Gonna talk about it in my wrap up. But yes, this is a perfect pick for the 2nd book to read. And for my last prompt, I have Inscription, which is to pick from 3 different titles and have like a generator or whatever, pick what book you're going to read. I think it's technically do it with pieces of paper, but I'm just gonna do it as a wheel. I could pick really easy titles like Haikyuu or Kami-sama Kiss, but I'm gonna save those for the quests. So I think for my spinner, I'm gonna go with my choices of Blood Witch, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and then the Marble Queen. So I will put those in. So I have my little spinner, which we will spin if I can figure out. Okay, and let's see what the spinner picks. Okay, and it looks like I am reading That Time I Got Drunk. Great pick to like break up stuff during the month. This is an adult fantasy. People put it in the cozy fantasy, people put it in the romantasy category. I basically bought it because I really need like fun books in between some of the heavier books that I was reading. So this will hopefully be a great book to break up some of that more like heavy sci-fi fantasy stuff. But yeah, those are the 3 titles that I'm for sure going to be reading in April. So let's get into the rest of my TBR. So I am trying to finish Kami-sama Kiss this year. I am on volume 16 and there are 25 volumes, and I've kind of challenged myself to read 2 volumes a month so that I will finish in like the next 5-ish months. So I will be reading volume 16 and volume 17 this month. As far as my audiobook choices for reading this month, Blood Witch is available at my library. It has not been picked out in some months, so I think I will probably be getting to this at some point. And I am also waiting to check out The Tempest of Tea, as well as He Drowned the World. I'm not sure I will get these this month. I believe it's like 6 to 4 weeks for both of them, but you never know. Sometimes they come up quicker than you expect, but these might be things that I read in the later half of the month. And then, of course, I am also planning to continue with Haikyuu. I decided to pick up where I left off last month. Really enjoyed myself, as always. It reminds me, yes, I do enjoy reading manga, and I'm just trying to finish this before I get spoiled for the movies, before the movies come out in the US, so I need to continue with this. I bought the next 10 volumes in the series, so I got enough material to work with now. So this is my for sure definitive TBR for April as of now. And the other thing I haven't really talked about on my channel is I'm doing a special project that is a secret project, which I do not know when it's going to come out. It could be in a year. It could be in 2 years. That's how big of a project it is, but I am almost done with the reading portion of that project. But I still have a couple more books to read for that. So those will also be getting read this month. So if I'm not reading a lot, that's why I have some other books on my agenda. But yeah, this is what I'm reading for the Magical Readathon, what I'm reading in between that. I'm trying to stick to my TBR as much as possible, but I'm also, again, reading stuff at work. So sometimes I just have to pick stuff out that I don't physically own yet, but you know, trying to stick with my physical TBR. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're participating in the Magical Readathon, what you're reading, what prompts you're filling out. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading.